Hi guys, I wanted to have this very quick conversation with you. I don't even know if it's going to be quick or not. I don't know. I'm just going to go with the flow. But I know God wants me to talk about it because I've been thinking about it all day today. I was actually supposed to talk to you guys about it yesterday. And like I said, it's been nudging me all day today. I'm like, I got to say something. But I want to really ask you guys, like, who do you really depend on? Like, who is your main source to depend on? And you have to ask yourself this question every single day. You have to make God a priority. A lot of people ask me, like, Steph, like, how do you hear God's voice every day? Or how do you have dreams? And I saw a comment, someone asking me that today. And honestly, it's consistency. It's me being consistent with God every day. And I could honestly say that I pray every single day. I pray every morning. I pray every night, and I talk to God throughout the day with everything. Let me just say that when it comes to my dependence, I depend on God for everything. I don't make decisions without praying about it. Even decisions where I have to make quick, I pray about it. And the reason why this is the way it is because one wrong decision can cause a lot of obstacles in my life. And let me just say that the type of relationship I have with God today compared to 2019, I can honestly say that I have not missed one day of prayer. The only time I ever missed prayer was when I went on vacation and I had too much wine and I got extremely drunk and I repented for it. But guess what? Even then, I got up in the middle of the night, tipsy and all, and I prayed. Even though I felt bad and I was convicted, I woke up out of my sleep. I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot to pray. I jumped out of my sleep and prayed, right? And that's never happened again. But I've never missed a day of prayer. I pray every morning, every night. And before you touch your phone, before you go to any YouTube video, before you check your email, before you check your Facebook, before you check your Instagram, before you watch my videos, God has to come first. God has to come first, and it has to be consistent. It has to be consistent. God shouldn't be approached when you need something, when you want something. I know a lot of people, they go through warfare and they're like, you know what, I don't even want to pray right now, like, God, because I've been going through warfare for the last month, and this excuse my language, I almost said, this thing is hitting me. I don't even swear though. You know what I'm saying? I almost just said it. That's probably like you guys feeling that way, because honestly, I don't even swear like that. So this issue's been hitting me all month, Lord. And I don't even feel like praying right now because I'm mad. But let me tell you something. Are you praying to God only because you want him to stop the warfare? Or are you praying to God because you're actually trying to build a relationship with him? You see, when you're trying to build a relationship with someone, it doesn't matter what's happening in your life. If you are married to someone today, and you had a husband or wife today, and you guys have issues in the household, are you going to say, okay, you know what, we're arguing. I ain't talking to you. I ain't praying to you. I ain't praying. I ain't arguing. I ain't doing, like, not praying, but I'm not talking to you. I'm leaving you. You're going to have to work through your marriage. Remember, you're married to God first. You see what I'm saying? You're married to God first. And God is supposed to be your everything. Because let me tell you something, children of God, like, when you have gifts, and everybody has gifts. Even if you think you don't have gifts, you have gifts. In order for you to access your gifts, you have to build a relationship with God. In order for you to have the right access. Because there's a lot of people who don't have a relationship with God and they have access to their gifts. And I'm going to talk about that after. But if you are a child of God and you have gifts, or you don't think you have gifts, make God your priority so he can teach you, so he can train you. Like I was saying, there's people out here that have gifts who don't have a relationship with God. And here's the thing. People that have gifts and don't have a relationship with God, it's like they feel like they don't need God. It's like because they have these gifts, they feel like they're superior. There's an ego in it. There's pride in it. Oh, I can hear, or I can see, and I can see in the spiritual realm, or I'm a dreamer. And it's kind of like, who do you think created all that? Who do you think created the spiritual realm? So how do you feel like you can go and work and master the spiritual realm without getting any type of training from the creator itself? Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, You need to be trained. You need God when you have these types of gifts. You need God. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if you know, whatever you do spiritually, you need God. Who's going to protect you? The spiritual realm is not nothing to play with. It's not a game. You know, you need to have a relationship with God, especially if you're having, you know, if you're going through warfare, especially if you realize you have gifts. Even if you don't have gifts, like, you need to have a relationship with God. God has to be your number one priority in order for anything in your life to go according, because at the end of the day, God knows you better than yourself. God knows everyone else better than you do. God knows everything before you do. So the best thing that I can honestly say, the best feeling in the world is asking God a question and having my question answered the same night or a couple nights later, and just getting direct answers, and not having to always go to someone, not having to always use tools or whatever you guys or some people are doing. Why not build a relationship with God himself and allow him to give you that access, allow him to answer your questions on the spot? You see what I'm saying? Without even, like, do you get it? And you have to understand something. God won't just like, okay, I'm going to give you access to everything right away. No, you have to prove yourself. You have to be consistent. And it's not that God is trying to play games with you, no, but you have to remember something. Just like we don't want to be used, just like we don't want to be used and taken advantage of, you know, don't you think God doesn't want to be used and taken advantage of? He'll love you regardless. But in order for you to learn how to be respectful to God, in order for you to learn that God should be your number one, in order for you to learn that God, you need faith, discipline, you have to experience sometimes silence from God. Because we've all been there. I've been there too. God's been silent for a while, and I was like, God, what's going on here? But through that, my faith was tested, because I wasn't hearing nothing at one point. And that was when I just left New Age. He told me to leave, and when I left, I'm like, God, I ain't hearing you. What's going on? He was silent for a while. But guess what? That was my little test, and I passed it, because most people would have said, I ain't hearing God, I'm going back to what I'm used to. But I'm like, no, I'm sticking it out. He told me to do something, I'm going to obey. I'm going to be loyal to God. And ever since I've been loyal to God, God has been 100% loyal to me. And it's not that God was never loyal to me, but God was more consistent with his loyalty. Not just that, he's more consistent with communicating, more consistent with everything, you know. And I'm telling you right now, if you want that relationship, you have to be consistent in everything you do according to God. When it comes to God, you got to be consistent with prayer. You got to do the work. You have to do the work. You know what I mean? Like, the way how I see it, I talked to God about this last night. I'm like, God, I'm always on my phone, and sometimes I feel so guilty, because sometimes I'm on my phone more than I'm talking to you for the day. Even though I pray twice a day and I talk to God throughout the day, sometimes I'm on the phone all day, and I'm like, this is sad. I'm like, we shouldn't be on the phone like this. We should be talking to God. Like, the way we're on the phone, we should be talking to God that much. You know what I mean? But God said I'm still doing enough, because me praying twice a day and talking throughout the day, that's still a lot. But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, be consistent. You'll see results when you're consistent, and it has to come from your heart. It can't just be because you need something and you want something. I'm gonna talk to God and be consistent with God because now the warfare could go away, or because now I'm going to receive blessings. No. The motives behind everything needs to be, I want to build a relationship with God. God is my best friend. God is my mom. God is my dad. I want to build my relationship with God. That's the motive. Not because of warfare, because you want blessings, because you want breakthroughs. Has to be because you really want a relationship with God. And when you think about God, you get emotional because you love God so much. That's when you know it's from the heart, and that's when God will reveal himself to you. Blessed are the pure hearts, for they shall see God. Okay? So, advice for whoever needs it. I'm telling you, just be consistent from your heart and love God wholeheartedly.